Dogs don't bark at park
And they only shoot up. People never shoot down. They only shoot up.
So when you're being attacked, you're going somewhere.
Absolutely. There's never been a statue erected to a critic.
Oh my goodness! Whoa! Wow!
We've never said this statue here represents one of the greatest critics of all times. You will always have critics. It's just a part. It goes with the territory.
Wow! You just have to love it.
Absolutely. I used to say when I was a disc jockey, don't talk about your friends, don't talk about your enemies, talk about me, because I can use the publicity. It's okay.
You know, Reverend Ike used to always say to me, he says, welcome all types of advertisement. He says, welcome all. So when people talk about, just make sure they don't spell your name wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He loved it. I said, Reverend Ike, why you took all those interviews? He says, I just love agitating the media. He says, if you could just, he says, the more controversy, the better it is. I said, Reverend, you just created so. He would just get in the mic and just tell people, say, I love money. I said, Reverend, why? He says, you learn how to just play with that stuff. But he was a master at working with media.
Yes. He's good.
Also,
He was
Don
a
King.
master communicator.
Yeah, Don
Yeah.
King too.
He's very good.
I watched Don King. I was at a couple of events with him. I watched him work the cameras and just. These were people that were. You know what I believe the strength were? They were fearless.
Yes.
Courage. They
Right.
had guts.
Yes.
See, it moved beyond whether they were right or wrong. It didn't matter.
Right.
They had the guts. They
Yeah.
had the courage to move forward. And would you say that people that move forward has the courage to like move past other people's opinions?
Yes. You know, the Bible says, be of good courage. And courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is a willingness to act in spite of the fear.
Yes.
And when you're coming from a place of your truth, that this is where I stand, for I can do no other,
Yes.
then you are oblivious about what people think. You're doing what you have to do because that's who you are. That's the calling on your life. And other people might not understand it, and that's okay. What's most important that you understand, that you approve yourself, and that you answer the call on your life, and that they answer the call on their lives. And when you're in business of doing God's work, knowing we're not for ourselves, we're here for God, that it's not about you, that you're going to pay a price. There is a price to be paid. And no guts, no glory. If you don't have the guts, you will not experience the true life, the true real life, the abundant life, because it comes with a price. You get on an airplane, before it takes off, they say, fasten your seat belts, because you're going to experience some turbulence before reaching a comfortable altitude. And building this ministry, you had some turbulence, you had some hardships, you had some criticism, you had to overcome some stuff. People see the finished product, but they don't know the price that was paid.
That is heaven's truth. Wow, Les Brown. Well, listen, I'm just excited. I told y'all it was like Jesus was coming to my front door. I was just excited about your coming. I mean, you've paved the way for so many of our people to stand on stages that many of them would have never stood on as a motivational speaker. And then you took it to a level where you stood in corporate America, and for them to ask for you to come, it's you know, they had no other reason to call for you unless the goods were good.
Yes, you got to be 10 to 15 times better than your competitors.
Exactly.
When you don't have the complexion of connection.
Say that.
You got to bring it.
Yes.
You got to bring it. You got to bring it from down deep.
And now you're beginning to make this available to people, that
Yes.
people paid $30,000 to pay you for 1 hour. How many hours on the 17th and the 18th will I spend with you?
I will be there 18 hours. We go from 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday until 9 o'clock at night, and 9 o'clock on Saturday until 5 o'clock.
Mm.
So whatever that amounts up to. And I'm the training there the whole time. And my team, we teach people how to make money using the internet, how to create their own social networking, how to build an audience, how to develop a national and international brand, how to make money from home. This is a cash machine. The Time magazine said the computer in 2007.
Listen to this. Listen,
Yes.
listen. I want
Yes.
all of you to listen to what Les Brown's getting ready to say right now. I want you to listen to this. And our people, our statistics shows that we only got about 70% of our people, only about 30% are wired to the internet. 70 are not, especially those 45 years and over. So you're privileged, and those of you that are on a phone line that are not wired to the internet, listen to what Les Brown's getting ready to say to us.
Time magazine said in 2007, the computer is the person of the year. The computer. Because not only is it a platform to disseminate information, to get information, but for e-commerce. More millionaires are being produced through the internet now than ever before. We will teach people how working from home, they can operate a business and make more from home than they are making on their jobs working full time.
Wow.
With their story and build an audience just with the computer. They don't have to leave home. I don't have to leave home unless I want to. That's why I'm here learning and looking at your operation here. Because what this does is it gives you the versatility and flexibility to connect with people around the world. This is the era of what the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's: accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. And the people who know how to use the computer now have the competitive edge because it's a tool that you can use to build a financial empire.
True, because your computer has got to be turned into an ATM machine.
Yes.
If you can turn it into an ATM machine, you can fix your computer that you can be making money while you sleep. It's called passive income. And therefore you stop working for money and money starts working for you.
Yes, and we will teach them how to do that.
I've oftentimes said, Les Brown, that, when Dr. Martin Luther King says we will not be judged by the color of our skin, but by the contents of our character, I believe he was speaking prophetically about the keyboards.
Yes.
By the characters we press.
Wow.
People will not know whether you're black, white, Chinese, Asian, and you can go global, and you'll be judged by the wealth of tomorrow will be how you touch the characters on this keyboard.
Yes, but there are people who don't look like you, who speak another language, who will identify you. Jesus said, all power is in my hands. And he said, my sheep will hear my voice.
Yes.
There are people who will only hear your voice, that will only hear your voice, that will only hear my voice. The computer allows your voice to be heard. That's why it's important that people learn how to tell their story so people will get to know them. And they'll do business with you because they know you, they like you, and they trust you.
Wow.
And that's what we're teaching people how to do. People are going to be stampeding here because you know what it costs to go into a McDonald's franchise? Over $500,000.
Yes.
Now you can go into business. When people come away from there, they will have a business plan. They will have a strategy, a blueprint of what it takes to be successful by telling their story.
Telling your story.
Yes.
This is, it's funny you bring this up. There's no accidents in the universe. I just picked up, and I'm going to show you my library sometime on Saturday. I just picked up a bunch of books I just ordered on just storytelling.
Is that right?
This is and I was inspired because of Stephen Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed at his home, and I love books. You're going to find out I love books. I love reading. And so he said, I started noticing. He let me look through his library, and then he let me look through his library. I find wise people have libraries for the public, and then they have libraries.
Yes.
I call them secret libraries. And I don't let everybody in my library because I feel like when you touch my books, you touch my soul. Because now you know my thinking, you know how I think. But I noticed this whole section he had on nothing for storytelling.